Hi there, my name is Elijah Mongi, and per the title of the video, today we're talking about mistakes. Mistakes are part of who we are. Mistakes do happen. I have made a mistake, and every human being has made a mistake because we are not perfect. In aspiration of being something, we are bound to make mistakes to get to that place that we want to be. Even without searching for a particular goal, even without seeking a particular goal, we will still make mistakes. Somebody may want to be better at public speaking. They will make mistakes along the way. They will make mistakes that could help them be better public speakers. We have to acquire skills, and in the journey and pursuit of being better people, of being mature people, mistakes are what makes us wiser. Mistakes do happen, and acknowledging that mistakes are bound to happen. Even as I talk now, I might be talking about mistakes, but that doesn't mean I want to make a mistake in the future. I actually accept the challenge. And so it's acknowledging that mistakes will happen that help us to make a way forward and to learn from those mistakes. Now that we have concluded that mistakes do happen and they will happen, the next question we can answer is, what's the impact of mistakes on our lives? And I think this comes down to attitude. Most people will not learn from their mistakes. And when I say most people, I have been there. There are mistakes that I haven't learned from. However, there are mistakes that I have learned from. We can choose to learn from the mistakes we have made. We can consciously make the decision that I have made this particular mistake, I will be more aware moving forward. And that is the right attitude to have. However, there is this other person who will take a different lesson from that mistake. They will make a mistake and they will beat themselves so much. It will affect their esteem. It will affect how they think about themselves. Let's take an example. Gary is conned through the phone and he loses 50,000. But after losing that 50,000, he beats himself up. He says that he is not smart enough and that he does not believe in himself to make that amount of money again. That's a negative impact of not learning from your mistake and not taking it positively. All I say is, once something has happened, you can't go back to it. You can only focus on what is ahead. By focusing on what is ahead, you give yourself a chance of doing better in a scenario, in another scenario, or even in the same scenario. Let's say somebody calls you again and they want to scam you. You're in a better position to think about it and you know that this could happen again and I need to be wiser about it. And so the impact of mistakes depends on you. Some mistakes have greater consequences. I should add that apart from learning, there's also consequence for mistakes, and that mistakes have different consequences. Some mistakes have the potential to scar your whole life, and some mistakes not so much. They will disturb you a day or two and they'll be gone. There are mistakes, if you make, they could affect the whole trajectory of how you move in life. Let's say, for an example, a young man is not ready to have a child, but he finds himself in a very tricky situation where he has involved himself in something and he eventually gets a child. He's not ready for the kid. He does not have a job. He has not put himself in a place where he could raise that child. That could be a mistake to him, and now it prompts him to act differently. It prompts him to make decisions he would not have made if the child would not be there. So it's making steps and it's making the necessary steps to learn from your mistakes. I'm not saying you beat yourself up for it. Once something has happened, you can't go back. Work with that. Learn from that mistake so you don't have to repeat it again. And so the lesson from this is that each and everything has a consequence. Each good and bad thing has a consequence. You decide the consequence. And the best thing we can do for ourselves is improve our decision making. Decision making is really important. And how can we improve our decisions? By taking the time and making sure that we are in the right emotional state to make a decision. Time is really important. You need to weigh your options. You need to make better decisions to avoid mistakes. Now, there are two types of mistakes. There's conscious mistakes. Once that we know we are making those kind of mistakes, and we know we are making a mistake, but we continue regardless. However, there's another type, and I think this is the good type. These are the mistakes that we find along the way in our journey and pursuit of something that we want. Intentional mistakes are very, very bad for us. It shows that we lack the control, we lack that discipline of knowing that this thing is bad for us, but we still continue to do it. However, on the other side, like I had said, there lies another type of mistakes that is so good for us. These are the mistakes that allow us to fix it. We never knew you were going to make these mistakes, but it just happened. Let's say I was studying for a test and I studied something wrongly, and I realized, I wrote this formula badly. That was a mistake. However, if I learn from that, I hold a better chance of making better decisions because I have seen where I've made that mistake. I didn't do it intentionally, and I stand at a better chance of learning from it compared to the mistake that I knew I was doing that could affect how I think about myself, that could affect how my self-esteem works, knowing that I only make mistakes and I know I'm making those mistakes. So it is really important to know and to refrain from intentional mistakes. Refrain from intentional mistakes. Don't do something when you know it's wrong for you. Do something that is right for you. And if you do find yourself stumbling along the way, I believe you will learn better lessons. Now, something similar to what we had discussed is, what value do you get from mistakes? Remember, we had said that we make mistakes because we lack perfection. We are not perfect. No human being that has ever lived on this earth is perfect. Only God is perfect. And so, in making mistakes, we can teach ourselves to get value from it. They say mistakes equal to better learning, and I think that is the attitude to go with life. I have made very big mistakes in life, and I don't think I would be where I am now without learning from those mistakes. Be it in my career, be it in my education, be it in my friendships, in my relationships, and everything else. So we need to be a bit more wiser. We get wiser with time. However, we can invest in how wise we are. It's by putting in effort to be wiser. How can you do that? Is learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from other people's mistakes. I do this thing on Reddit where I go and search, what advice would you give to younger men who are just, adapting to life? And I see so much profound. I see a lot of profound advice from older people telling young men, start taking care of yourselves. Know what you want in life. Have goals. Have boundaries. And I think these are really important things to incorporate into our lives. When we learn from other people's mistakes, it's less likely that we will make those mistakes. I have seen men who have fallen because of the littlest mistakes. So it's good to invest in who you are as a person, to invest in your thought process, to invest in who you are, in your emotions. Control yourself. Mind your tongue. What are the things that cause mistakes for young people? Don't be irrational. So I think by investing in who you are, to learn what other people have gone through before, it really gives you good momentum in life. With that discussion, what other way can we make less mistakes? Another way we can do that is learning from our successes. I believe our successes provide the hope that we can actually succeed at something. We have succeeded at something before. I promise you. It's just that you don't focus on those successes before. You tend to focus more on the failures that you've done recently. Having that success proves that we can actually succeed at something. More often than not, we stand in our own way. There are times that I have removed myself from things because I didn't think I could do it. There are times where I disqualified myself because I didn't think I could actually do it. I didn't expose myself. Even if I would have failed, I failed to expose myself because I didn't believe I could. We have to take initiative and we have to take control of our lives. The same way we said we have to improve our wisdom, we have to improve our knowledge. Sometimes we make mistakes because we didn't know better. As kids, we used to make so many mistakes, and I believe that's why we needed a parent a parent who could guide us. It's because we didn't know much about life. Life is sort of complicated, but now as we get older, we continue to know, we continue to notice certain trends, we continue to absorb knowledge from other people, and with that we make wiser decisions because we know. So invest in your mind, invest in your decision making, invest in your thought process, invest in who you are as your person. Build up that confidence, build up who you are as a person. And I think you stand a better chance at making better decisions and making less mistakes. So in this journey of life, we can't afford to be complacent in some things. Like we said, there are mistakes that could alter the trajectory of your life. And I speak to you as a person, from one person to another person. Please, this life is yours alone. In as much as, yes, you have relatives who might care for you and might get hurt when you make certain mistakes, you will be the biggest victim of your own mistakes if you do not take care. And so in everything you do, be careful. Don't be reckless. Don't be ignorant of what could help you as a person. The future is in your hands. The future is in your hands. And one thing that I love to tell people that I was told once, walk with God. I believe with God comes a lot of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. With God comes a lot of assurance of what lies ahead. With God lies strength. He tells Joshua to be strong and courageous. And I would love to tell you the same thing. I don't know what mistakes you have made before. I don't know what mistakes you're going to make. But make an effort to learn from your mistakes. Mistakes happen for a reason, but you can get something good out of those mistakes. And so for me, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, subscribe and share. It would really matter a lot for our growth as a channel, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you and have a good day. Thank you.